Okay, well, it's an exciting team talk. Anytime the Kilker crew takes over team talk, it's always exciting. These ladies are ladies on a mission. I love being in their Facebook group. They absolutely live the mission, and they are super excited to just share good health all the time. And they have become such awesome leaders. And I know that I'm going to learn so much from them tonight. And they're going to speak on the 4 beliefs. And it is one of the key principles in our business for being successful. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Jules, who is our qualifying national marketing director on our team and soon to be NMD, right?
Yes.
All right. Own it, baby. Okay.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm super excited too, because when Sharon said, would you like to host one of the team talks? I immediately said yes, and I immediately knew, and she let me pick my topic. So I knew this is what I wanted to talk on because I had been thinking about it a lot. It's been kind of a common theme on our team. And so I think that there's a lot of keys to success in our business. But I do think the 4 beliefs are the biggest keys to success in our business. And if you can move each of those 4 beliefs to a 10, then the sky's the limit. You are going to go far. And so let me share my screen with you guys because I created something, a visual for you guys.
Is that bothering you having that on?
Let's see. Can you share my screen? Okay. Can you see it? Okay. So, and please, can you guys, I want this to be interactive, so I want you to chat down below. And if you want to share where your belief is right now, what number on each one, I would love to see it. I know your sponsor would probably love to see it. And so we can all kind of talk around it. So let's talk about the first belief. And that is the belief in our product, Juice Plus. And so hopefully you guys know that Juice Plus, we have the Orchard, Garden, and Vineyard capsules, now the new Omega capsules. We have our complete shake and complete bars and the Power Garden. One of the things that I love about Juice Plus is that it is a very narrow product line. So we don't have a lot of products, but what we have is just really powerful. We are the most researched product, nutritional product on the market. And so how do we get our belief in the product from wherever it is, and if you guys want to share where it is right now, to a 10? And a lot of times I think that this is the one belief where most people are close to a 10 or probably have the highest number. Because if you're on this call right now and you're a team member, chances are you love the product, you believe in the product, that's why you joined our team. And so this is something that, and Sharon, I said this the other day, this is something that I thought my belief was a 10 when I signed up, but it's amazing how it can just keep getting better. And I don't know if you can go over 10, but every time I go to an event or I get on a call like this, my belief does get stronger, and I call it bulletproof. And so when I am talking to somebody and somebody says, well, what about this? Well, what about this? I'm very confident in my answer. Even if I don't know, I'm confident. And I can tell you when I first started the business, I remember doing one of my first presentations at a fitness studio, and somebody stood up and started heckling me and started saying, well, is it fat soluble or water soluble? Well, is it bioavailable? And I didn't know any of it. And I started shaking and getting sweaty. And so glad like Liz and Sharon and people were there to kind of have my back. But what's interesting now is that if that was to happen to me now, it would not take my breath away at all. I would be able to stand firm in my belief in the product. And even if I didn't know the answer, because I know that it's so rock solid because we're the most researched. We've been in production for over 25 years. That's a stable product because we're NSF certified and because I have a Juice Plus story. And if you do not have a Juice Plus story, Gordon Hester always says this, get a story, because that is one of the best ways for you guys to go from whatever number you're at to a 10. Are you doing the shred? Happy Shred Day, by the way. If you're doing the shred, today's our first day of our March shred. And get on the omegas and maybe start tracking some of the differences. Since I've been on the omegas, better, more energy, especially with 3 kids under 5, I should have less energy, right? I have more energy than I ever have, better mental focus. And so the complete shakes literally save my life all day. They keep me full all day. I can speak from a emotional standpoint on the product. So I am a product of the product. We have everything. We do everything. We practice shredding every month. We may not be perfect, but we try as hard as we can. And so when somebody says to me, you know, this, I can tell them most research, NSF certified, but guess what? Facts tell, stories sell. So when you have your own personal story, that is how you are going to get customers. When you have belief in the product, that's how you're going to be confident and be able to talk to more people. So that is belief in the product. I can't see if you guys are commenting. Hopefully you are. Hopefully you feel like you're at a 10. If not, my advice would be to watch videos, get on as many calls as you can, go to conference and get your own story, start shredding, okay? So let me go to the next belief. And this is our belief in the business or belief in the Juice Plus company. And Brigid Graham, who is actually my sister-in-law and she's a sales coordinator on our team. And I don't even know how many years she's been doing the business, but it took her a year to finally take a look at, you know, to take Juice Plus and then take a look at the business, actually longer than that. But she's come to conference, she's on every call she can be on. And so I have seen her belief get built up in the business. I'm excited for her to share some tips. So Bridge, I'll let you take it over.
Hi. All right. I've been with a rep for almost 3 years now. And I've been taking Juice Plus for about 4, even though I knew about it for a lot longer than that. But yeah, I definitely think my belief has grown to a 10, and conference and regionals and team calls have really, really helped in all of that. So Jay Martin is the founder and CEO, and his goal was to create a stable and lasting company to help as many people as possible realize their dreams. So that alone is pretty, exciting. So here are some points up here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'm just going to touch on a few. But so we're, as Jules mentioned, the largest selling nutritional product in the world and the most researched. So that alone gives me a ton of confidence when I'm talking to people, even when I'm not 100% sure what I might be, talking about. If somebody asks me a question that stumps me, I still have that confidence. Jules also mentioned we're NSF certified. We're also NSF Sport certified, which is key for professional athletes and Olympic athletes. They have to be really careful in what they take. So the fact that we have that sports certification is huge. It means they can take our product without worrying. And the NSF certification is a big deal. I've seen some articles going around Facebook about protein powders, and I don't know if it's a new test that was done or something recently, and about how they're finding contaminants in a lot of these really popular protein powders. And a friend of mine messaged me who's a customer, and she was concerned because she loves the Complete. And I had 100% confidence in telling her we're NSF certified, so we don't have to worry about that. We're tested. The company goes above and beyond to make sure that none of our products contain any contaminants, toxins, heavy metals, anything that we need to be worried about. So it gives me the peace of mind in using our protein shake, and it made her feel a lot better too, because she is a newer customer and didn't know that. So that gives me a ton of confidence. 47-year-old company. We're all around the world in over 20 countries. $50 to start is pretty incredible. I have a lot of friends in businesses who might sell jewelry or bags or beauty products, and I know theirs could be 3 or 4 times that much to start. And they also have to buy inventory, and we don't. So that's pretty nice. And I was picking my daughter up from gymnastics tonight, and on the radio there was an ad for a handyman business. You could buy a franchise for a handyman business, and it was only $8,000 to start. And they would handle all the billing and all of that. And I thought, wow, like ours is 50, and our company handles all of, billing, shipping, customers, all of that for us. So that's pretty nice. Let's see, 98% leader retention. So once people hit the leadership positions of senior sales coordinator and up, 98% of our people stick around because it's just that awesome. Why would you leave? No quotas, no inventory. Our positions are permanent. Once you hit DDVF, sales coordinator and above, you don't lose that position. So I know that's been helpful. I know some people that have had to maybe turn their focus to family matters and things like that. They didn't have to worry about losing their position during that time. And then our benefits package, once you achieve National Marketing Director, we have a benefits package that rivals some corporate benefit packages and is pretty amazing and has even, some better benefits than some of the big companies that are out there. So those are things that make me super confident. We also, we're a company that gives. We're the largest contributor to the St. Jude's Marathon. We give to the Boys and Girls Club and some others. And I know personally, my belief has grown. I've gone to 4 or maybe 5 conferences now. And just that alone will build your belief in the business. And I've gone to 4 or 5 regionals. And the people that I've been able to meet from the corporate company are always so genuine and make it so clear that they're there to help. And really listen and ask questions and really kind of take your feedback. And it gives you a good feeling knowing that you're being heard and they truly want to help you succeed. So, Jules, back to you.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, and I just want to say too, I wrote over my favorite things over here, the 47 years old, billions in sales and global. I think that having a global company in today's economy makes me very confident in that I'm investing time into this company, because when I'm working my business, I know it's my business, but I'm investing into the Juice Plus company. And so to have a global company, I think is just so wise in today's economy. And the DSA Top 20, that's the Direct Selling Association. Juice Plus is in the top 20. I mean, there's hundreds of companies, thousands of companies like ours. To be in the top 20 is an extreme honor. And so you guys, when you're talking to somebody about the Juice Plus company and about maybe them joining our team, you can stand bulletproof because of all of these things. But again, if you do not have your own personal story with the company, if you haven't met, oh my gosh, what's her name? Karen Jones or Michael Hecht or some of these people from conference. We met Karen Jones at dinner one night. We were going to dinner. It was me, Brigid, Holly, and she was there and she sat with us at dinner for over an hour and a half and told us all about the company. I don't even know what her title is. Sharon, what's her title? She's like a regional
Southeast. She's like, well, I think she's more than regional now. She's for the whole United States, like a business.
Right. And she's doing the Brave Leaders program, but she bought our dinner. I mean, just like anytime I talk to anybody from corporate, they literally look you in the eye. They don't stop talking to you until you're done. Nobody, I've never, ever, not once felt rushed talking to somebody from corporate. And then every time you call customer service, I mean, it's amazing. So I think, this is what I think, and conference, again, when I see these teams stand up and the business support they have, I literally in my head am going, why wouldn't anybody want to join our business? It would blow my mind that somebody says no to me. Like, it's they don't know. They just don't know. And that's why I sometimes stay on them like a hound dog, because I'm like, you don't know. You need to know. So let me just show you a little bit more. Are you open to looking at this a little bit more? So I don't know where your belief is in the business right now, but if it's not at a 10, there's lots of business videos that you can watch that I don't think are great to send to other people, but you could, but I think they're good for you to watch. And also conference. I mean, that's the number one thing that I think is going to believe, or, you know, regionals, boot camps, that's another thing. So, okay, let me see. Let me go to the next one. Our next belief is belief in our industry. So our industry is kind of like the direct sales, network marketing. Even though we're technically not network marketing, we kind of can get lumped into that industry. We're very different than a corporate jobs. You know, you're not going to get interviewed and then, you know, a steady paycheck every week that well, you may get a steady paycheck, but it's just a little bit different than corporate. And so a lot of times people come into this industry or into our business and they don't really know what to expect. And so actually Kirsten's going to talk, but I just pulled 3 things that I just love about our industry. I mean, I think our industry is the best industry that there is. I can't even imagine working for another company. Like sometimes with my husband, I know he has a regular job and I'm like, I don't even know how you do it. But Paul Zane Pilsner says, in today's world, working for yourself is actually the safer route, and working for a corporation has become the riskier proposition. How many of you guys know somebody who's lost a job? Just found out, one of my friends, 17 years at a large corporation, gone, nothing, severance package, that's it. There's no loyalty to her whatsoever. It's not like it used to be when our grandparents had jobs. The great network marketing business, you can work from home. I can't even really see. No operation expenses, no inventory, you know, all of that, kind of what Bridge said. And then Robert Kiyosaki says network marketing. Oh my gosh, I can't read it. But hold on.
I can read it.
Oh, can you? What does it say?
Network marketing gives people the opportunity with very low risk and a very low financial commitment to build their own income, generating asset and acquire great wealth. Yeah.
Okay. So these are all obviously professionals and experts in the network marketing industry. Okay. So I am actually going to let Kirsten Silvoy talk on this.
All right. Hey guys, I'm so excited to be joining you tonight. Usually I'm in bed by this time, so it's not until, you know, Jules puts me on the spot to say, can you be on tonight's call? So I'm excited to see everybody and still be awake. But you know, when Jules asked me to do one of these things, I thought, you know, for sure the industry, and I only say that because I've been with Juice Plus for almost about 4 years, and Jules and Jana both approached me about the business. And, you know, I'm somebody that at that point in time, even still today, have a hard time saying no. So when they approached me at the business, I thought, okay, yeah, sure. You know, I didn't want to say no to anybody. You know, talked to my husband a little bit about it, asked more questions, and thought, okay, but I knew nothing about network marketing, nothing about, you know, anything about direct sales, absolutely nothing. So when I first got into it, you know, I definitely got my feet wet a little bit, you know, got to DD pretty quick and thought, okay, but again, really didn't understand the industry of things. So it wasn't until, you know, attend conference, you know, get on these calls, all of these important team talks, and, you know, really understand what it is. And also following different people on social media, I think for me has been huge to see how, I want to say maybe their lives had changed from starting Juice Plus to really where they are today. So, you know, the first quote, most people are skeptical of what I do because society has taught us to look for jobs and not opportunities. And I think that's so true that, you know, your route is to, you know, graduate high school and attend a 4-year college. And then if you go, you know, for years after that to get your master's or whatever it is, and you rack up thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in this, you know, student loan debt, and then you go and get usually a low paying job right off the bat, and it takes forever to really pay it off. But that's really just what we were really trained to do. So nobody was really ever trained to look at, you know, network marketing as something that could really financially benefit them. So, it's taken me now over 3 years to kind of realize this and really see the opportunity of what it has for me, and to really give me what I want out of life. And really for me, that's the time freedom, the freedom to be with my kids, to be with my husband, to travel, to do all of those things that, today I don't get to do. And I would say it really hit me in September when my oldest went to preschool, and I couldn't take off to watch my, first child go to school on that first day. And it was like heartbreaking to me. And I thought, oh my goodness, like, how do people, do this? Like, it just finally hit me, I think, the kids part. So, that was the first thing that I thought in my head, like, I want this because I want that freedom. And I know that my current job today as a school teacher is never going to give me that. I can't take off my first day of school to be with my kids on their first day of school. And I can't take off, on my last day of school to be with my kids on their last day of school, and, all of those things. So as much as it gives me the freedom for, snow days, which we've had up here in the Northeast, and we're going to have another one tomorrow. And, the summers and things, it's still, I don't get that freedom, to do those great things. So, as I look more into that, I see that that's what I want. So network marketing is really my only route there. I look at my husband who has a sales job, and he doesn't have that freedom either. He has to work really hard to get what he wants out of it. And not saying you don't have to do that with network marketing, but you can make your own hours and you really get out what you put in. So, if you're willing to put the time and the energy and the dedication in, the rewards from that are grand. I go to school early every morning and, have to grade papers at home, but I don't get paid extra for that. I get paid just as much as the other person who probably comes in right on the clock and punches out at the clock. So I think that's a big difference there too, in that, the effort and dedication that you can put forth into something, you get paid for that. It's kind of like that recognition. Everybody wants to be recognized, and you can be recognized, through all of your peers, everybody on here tonight, or, even financially. So I think, that's great. And another picture that was up there was a pyramid scheme. And I think that's what scares a lot of people, is that's really what they were thought, that, when somebody asks you to join something and is trying to, quote unquote, sell you something, that it's a whole pyramid scheme. And, that's usually when a pyramid scheme is when somebody's losing money and somebody's gaining money. And, that doesn't happen with us here, in that, we're all linking arms with each other and building each other up. And, once we've built our customer base, then we're really building up our team and all of that great stuff. So definitely far from a pyramid scheme, but I think maybe that's the toughest part, to get people to believe in our industry, because that's what they feel it is. So just kind of, changing that mentality shift of what everybody feels that network marketing is. And I think it really ties in with what Brigid said, that I think when you believe in the business itself, I think they kind of go hand in hand. Business and industry really go hand in hand, in it just all works out, because I have a lot of people on my social media that, just bombard with all of their, posts and you got to do this, and this is the best thing. And, the same people that sell the same product over here are posting the same thing as the people over here. And then, it's just kind of a cycle. And I think that sometimes turns people off. But I think when we know that our business works and our product works, that everything, just falls together like a really good puzzle piece. And one last thing I'll leave you with as far as the industry goes is, right before I logged on here, I was scrolling through my Instagram, and I'm on like a quote thing. And as I'm scrolling through, there was one that said, create a life, not a resume. And that really just, hit me that, I don't have to keep working, really hard to build up something else to then go work for somebody else, when I can just build up myself and my own business and eventually, get where I need to be. So that really definitely sunk in with me. But I think, all four of these core things that everybody's going to talk about tonight really go hand in hand together. But believing that network marketing really is where, people are going to go. I think Forbes had a quote that said, in the next couple of years, 750 million people will have their own home-based business. Definitely speaks volumes for that as well. So I'll send it to you, Jules.
Thank you, Kirsten. And I just want to say that I asked Kirsten specifically to speak on this, because coming from a teaching background, I think she has grown so much in her belief in our industry, because she didn't know anything about this industry when she first started. That's why she said yes, she didn't know what she was doing. And so she really has been really teachable. And like when we tell her to do something, like when I say go to conference, when I say go to boot camp, she does it. But I saw a huge difference when you read, what was that book?
Oh, You Are a Badass.
You Are a Badass. And Julie said it on a call the other day too. So I saw her confidence start to grow. And your belief in, go ahead, everybody right now, what is your belief in our industry right now? Type it in. Because your belief in our industry and your belief in our business is a direct reflection of how many team members you're getting every month. And so if you have a strong belief, or is a direct reflection on how many people you're talking to about the business, let's say that, okay? And so if you are rock solid, if you're a 10 and a 10, you have no problem talking to anybody. I mean, the person in line next to you, the person who just lost their job, the person who, kids that they're, go to school with your kids, their parents. And so a couple of things, if your belief is not at a 10, again, go to conference, read How to Be a Badass. I guess I need to read it. And then I'm going to tell you, Go Pro is my number one choice. Pretty much everybody on here tonight, I think, has read it. That's talking tonight. The Flip Flop CEO, I actually have not read that. Secrets of Six-Figure Women. I have a list that I can send out to you guys. But it's really important because, as Kirsten said, most of your friends are going to join a business like this to make more money. Is it going to be Juice Plus? Are you prejudging? Are you not asking them because you think they're going to say no? They will say yes, probably in the next 10 years to something. So make sure you tell them about us first before they hear about something else, okay? Because some people don't want to say yes again if they failed. If they fail at one, they don't want to, say yes again. So you want to make sure you tell them about Juice Plus and plant that seed. Okay, thanks, Kirsten. So this is the next one. Let's see. The last belief is belief in yourself. And so I'm not even going to play the slideshow. Oh, maybe I will in a minute. So belief in yourself. This is our last belief. And I don't know if any one of them is more important than the others, but I think for most of us, from what I've heard and talked to people and been doing this for 9 years, the belief in ourselves is usually the hardest for most of us. And it's usually where, if we have a lower number, it's in this one. And I think it's the one that can unlock the other three if we can get our belief in ourselves to a 10. So what are you guys telling yourselves every day? We have had a huge training and just theme about affirmations this year on our team. If you've been on calls, if you've been listening to Voxer, what are you telling yourself? What is written on your mirror when you wake up in the morning? Who are you hanging out with? What are you watching, reading, listening to? This has been really convicting to me when I started this business. The things I listen to on the radio, the things I read, the things we see on TV. I mean, I don't know how many times I hear somebody say, I don't have time. But if you're watching TV, if you're, if you're scrolling through Facebook, we do have time. We have time for what's important. And I think that self-growth is so important in this business. We've heard it said, we've all heard it say, this is a business, self-growth course cleverly disguised as a business. I mean, there's nobody that gets to the top of this company that doesn't look back and think, I'm a completely different person. I've grown and stretched in a million ways. And that's why you see at conference every single NMD cry, because it has been a self-growth journey. And so I could have picked so many people from my team. I just want you guys to know my team is amazing and they inspire me every day. And there's so many of them out there on the lines growing. And I just I'm inspired by them. But Toni, I've seen her grow leaps and bounds lately. And I really wanted her to share what she's doing with you guys, because you can see it. You can see when somebody is investing in themselves. And so, Toni, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. So yeah, I'm so thankful to be able to share my heart, and I hope that's what you hear. And I also am thinking about how I want you to be thinking about yourself in this moment, because I believe belief in yourself is a mindset. It doesn't matter how much your spouse says it to you, or even your sponsor believes in you and sees the potential in you, because I'm sure Jules and Kirsten have seen the potential in me 2 years ago when I started this, but I couldn't necessarily see it when I started the business. But when you start to believe it yourself, there's something that is so powerful that begins to happen. And I do think it also goes along with the other beliefs, but when you're owning it yourself and believing, like, I've been chosen to do this for a reason, like I'm helping other people, and there's just something amazing that happens to that. But I truly believe that each and every one of us has been given a gift, and it's going to come out differently. There are going to be people that need Juice Plus that only my personality could speak to, you know, and all of us have different personalities. I've seen that at the conferences. All these NMDs that come up there, they have such different personalities, and just shows you anyone could do this business. It's because they're owning it. They know who they are. There's a confidence that they're not trying to get it from other people. They just know it, and they're standing firm in that. And I think this all started for me December of last year, moving into the new year. Before that time, I think it's little choices we make along the road when we're doing this business. And we're all going to come up through discouragement. But when you hit that road where you have a discouragement, it's either you look it in the face and deal with it and keep moving forward, or you start to self-doubt and say, I can't do this. And I feel like all those moments that I cried or was like upset that no one came to my stinking salad jar parties, that I kept going, and I maybe cried for a little bit, and I said, okay, I got to move on. And I just kept choosing to move forward, choosing to believe that I believe in this product. I'm going to be on it for the rest of my life. I've seen it work for my family. And so I had that strong belief there, and I kept going. And I think because of that, in December, there was just a mind shift where I began to take the negative things and not dwell on them, and started looking at the positive things and controlling what I could control and letting go what I couldn't. And December, I lost 6 orders. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, all these people at the same time were just like, I'm going to cancel. And I was like, okay. You know? And then I decided, I made up my mind. I'm like, okay, you're going to cancel, then I'm going to get more orders. Instead of just trying to control that and being upset and saying, oh, I forget it, I began to say, you know what, I'm going to figure out a different way. And I think that's where that strength comes from. And all of a sudden you're like starting to see your actions actually make a difference, and your mindset, what you think about is so powerful, and your actions begin to follow what you think. And I kept saying to myself, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it. I have dreams. I have goals. And I can't keep comparing myself to other people or blaming. I just got to look at myself. And so for the first time, my entire family, even my 4 little kids, we all made vision boards for the new year. And the ones in the middle that you see that says, the big dreams, those are not for a year. Those are like my big goals. And one of the scariest ones to write out was the NMD 100 Club, because I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to get there, and I don't care. I've said it, because I think it's very fearful to say those things, because when you say the dreams and the goals that you have deep inside of you, you know you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone. You know you're going to have to do the things that maybe you're fearful to do, But I would encourage all of you, do not let fear hold you from your dreams and your goals, because that's not reality. And so that's what I've been learning as well. And so those are some of my big dreams, is to buy a beach house. I want to surprise my kids to Disney World, and all these kinds of things that seem like they're not reachable, but they are. And I keep telling myself, this is why I'm part of the reason, not the only reason, but these are some of the things of why I keep going. And the more you believe in yourself, all of a sudden your why becomes bigger, and it makes you want it more. And so I think I'm just less fearful about talking about the product now. I will share it with anyone. I carry the products in my purse at all times. So if I get into any conversation, they're going to get one. They're going to get one of my samples. And so I would say, to end off, is that you're capable, more capable than you might think right now. I don't know where you're at in your belief in yourself, but I want to motivate you to know that each and every one of us, if we really ask ourselves, what are the gifts that I have? What makes me me? Asking those inner questions and really answering those is going to be very helpful. And so what is the best dream for yourself or for your family? Because you're able to receive that. And the last thing I would say is, I think one of the books that really helped me was the 4-8 Principle. And I know our team name is named after that. And this is all about mindset. And it's brought me so much joy, and it's given me so much conviction, and it's given me so much passion about not apologizing for who I am and what I've been called to do. So, and I don't think any of you should feel that way either. So, yeah.
Aw, thank you, Toni. I love that. So another person on our team who kind of from the get-go I've seen, she's had this belief in herself since she joined our team. So I didn't ever really think about it until I was thinking about this thing tonight, and I thought, well, I have to ask Abby to speak, because you can tell there's a confidence about her. And Abby consistently gets, double-digit customers every month, team members every month. It's like you can tell that belief in herself is so strong. And so it does carry over into the other 3 beliefs. And so I'm excited to hear from her too. So Abby.
Thank you, Jules. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. My kids are still awake, so I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought for sure they'd be down. They're downstairs. I'm locked upstairs, so I'll be direct, but it probably won't be real long because they need to go to bed. But well, thank you so much. I'm so honored to be on with you guys tonight. These team talks are kind of hard for me just because I have little ones and a husband that works nights, but I am so happy to be here sharing with you all. And that slide that you see, or the graphic with the girl, I don't know if you can see her, she's sitting down. It just says, remember who you are. Don't compromise for anyone, for any reason. You are a child of the Almighty God, and live in that truth. And so, that really speaks to me tonight. As I was asked to speak about belief in myself, I haven't always had a strong belief in myself. And it wasn't really until I, joined this business a year and a half ago that I started to kind of dig a little bit deeper. And what I've realized is just that identity is so important in regard to belief, because it's just so important to know who you are, WHO, and know whose you are, WHOSE. So just knowing that, that we are children of the Lord, and that He has instilled in us individually a purpose and a mission. And I'm so thankful that Toni, sorry, don't. It's hard to follow Toni. She's popping up on my screen. But yeah, just knowing that the Lord, is with us, and that He's given us a gift to go and share, the gift of health and the gift of hope. And I just think that that's been so encouraging to me, just to realize that. And that's helped me more than I could have ever really known, because I just feel like it's a lot harder to have doubts and to have fears and to be anxious whenever you truly discover your identity through Him. And so I often need, I believe that wholeheartedly in my identity, but I often need affirmations or reaffirmations to keep that truth. And so you guys know that often our spiritual enemy comes in and he tries to attack, especially when things are going well. And one way that I really try to stay on track is just spending time in the Lord in the morning, first and foremost. On the hard days, if I'm having a harder day, I try to play worship music, like I'm blaring Hillsong United or Chris Tomlin or Lauren Daigle. It's funny because my 3-year-old, he'll say, "Okay, Google, play Lauren Daigle." It's just like he knows. He knows that is the way to my heart, and that is the way to calm me, and just to give me that reaffirmation on the hard days. And so another thing I do is I plug into Voxer a lot. I'm always talking to Jules. She's so encouraging. And then Toni is my accountability partner, and we've been partners for, I don't even know how long. Toni, how long?
I don't know, like a year now.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and you guys just heard Toni's heart, and I mean, if you guys know Toni, to know her is to love her, and she is such a strong Christian, and I just feel like it's so beneficial to surround yourself with like-minded people, especially in this business. Plugging into our healthy living community is so awesome, and you just have to find that positivity in your life. And I can't believe I'm about to tell you guys this, but my husband, and I'm not trying to like spouse bash or anything, but he is actually not the most supportive person in the world. He's not the most supportive of my business. And so that has been a huge challenge for me. Like, I don't know if this speaks to anyone else out there. I hope that at least one person, this will speak to, but I have to wake up every day with this wall, between me and my husband. And he's supposed to be, I feel like, my number one fan, and I'm having to learn how to be my biggest fan. And that's not always easy. And so that's why it's so important for me to have the reaffirmation of like-minded people, our community. Sharon is a good one. Shout out to Sharon. I hit her up on Voxer a lot. And so yeah, but that's a small barrier. And a part of me is like, okay, he's not the most supportive, but that's okay, because I'm going to show him, like, I'm going to wake up every single day and I'm going to hit the ground running. And my intentions are good to help financially and to help provide, but he's not quite there yet with the support. So the community is just everything to me. And if you guys see that picture of those 2 little stinkers there, those are my 2 boys, Easton and Hudson. They're 2 and 3. And another reason why my belief is so strong in myself is because I have to be a positive example for those 2 guys. And I feel like they're at such an impressionable age right now that I want them to see me confident. I want them to see me, working hard towards my goals, something that sets my heart on fire and something I'm so passionate about, because I want them to grow up and I want them to feel that same confidence that they can follow their dreams, and that, nothing can stand in their way if they just, stay close to the Lord, and just, hopefully I'll keep them on track. But those, they are a big part of my why, and they are, they're learning, like, they're watching me like a hawk. They love to make salad jars with me. They love fruits and vegetables. Like, I just want them to be strong, confident, God-fearing men. So they are huge when it comes to belief for me. If I don't believe in myself, then I can't encourage them to believe in themselves. And then another graphic that I really like is you playing small does not serve the world. And if you just think about that for just a second, like, what if we all played small? Like, what would the world be like if we were all playing small? So I just think it's just a great graphic, just encouraging you to think big, to dream big, and to go chase your dreams. And in regard to disappointments and letdowns, okay, so that's going to happen. And I remember when I first started this business, I was real intimidated. I was real scared. Jules was like, you got to send them a message and follow up. I'm like, what will they think of me? I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be pushy. But, I just learned that it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. It truly doesn't. I know you guys know that, but like for Valentine's Day, I sent these little gummy packs with my boys. And it says, I choose you on them. They're so cute. And I was so excited about them. And I sent 27 of them to school with them. And I didn't get one inquiry. I didn't get one text message, one phone call. And I was like, dang, like I invested a lot of money in those samples and I can't believe no one called me. Like, these are toddlers we're talking about. Don't, tell me a toddler that eats all their fruits and vegetables, a big variety. Anyway, so I was just like in awe, but I was like, okay, I can't let that get to me. Like, those are seeds planted. And then, I know that I see on Facebook Messenger where people have seen my message and they don't get back to me. And I'm like, they're probably ignoring me, but I'm like, oh, well, they told me they were interested. So I'm not going to leave them alone. I'm going to follow up in 3 days. I'm going to follow up in 1 week. I'm going to follow up in 1 month. I'm going to follow up in 2 months. And I'm not going to leave them alone because they told me they were interested. They're just busy. And so I've really kind of had to change my mindset, change my perspective, change my attitude in regard to the disappointments and the letdowns. And then I go back to the reaffirmations. What does my morning look like? Have I started to venture away from my devotional in the morning? Have I stopped praying? Have I stopped meditating? I really that dictates my attitude, my business, everything, how I treat my family, like everything. And so I really feel confident when I am working through those reaffirmations. Okay, let me see if I left anything out. And those letdowns and those disappointments, I'm almost done, promise. Those are opportunities just to grow. Like, we shouldn't be discouraged from those. We want to learn, we want to grow, and we want to improve, and we want to keep moving forward. And so if you just think about your business as a race that you're running and you're in your own lane, okay, and your identity, your identity, okay, who you are, whose you are, and you've got people to the right of you, you've got people to the left of you. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. We are so unique in our journey and we're running our race. So we have to stay focused the whole 9 yards. Okay. So no comparison, no nothing, your journey. Okay. I think that's everything that I wrote down on my list. Okay. Hold on.
Well, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Abby. And hopefully your kids are okay.
I don't
downstairs.
know. Hopefully.
But Toni and Abby, it's funny because I know they're like, they didn't know each other before this business. And that's what this business can do. It can bring people together and form these lifelong, really deep friendships and relationships and accountability partners. And it's so cool to see them running side by side, and really playing off each other's mindset. I know all of us on our team are there to lift each other up when we're down. And it's funny because even if you do, and you guys go ahead and if you want to put your belief in yourself, I know that's a little bit more personal, but if you want to comment what you think it is, I think it's really important to recognize where you're at so that you can move forward. Because here's what happens when you start to believe in yourself. You can see it. You see it in all the girls that spoke tonight. I think Brigid and Kirsten and Toni and Abby, you can tell their belief in their self is strong and it's getting stronger. What happens is when you plug in, when you read certain books, the 4-8 principle is what our team is named after. I actually probably should read that book again. It is probably like the backbone of my belief and mindset. But The Energy Bus is another one. There's a bunch of good books to help your belief in yourself. But it's interesting how it really is a mind shift. And once you can do it, you almost will never go back to the person you were before, right? And what happens when you start to believe in yourself, then things start to happen in your life and in your business, and you start to see that abundance mentality. You start to see things start to come to fruition. You start to see good things. It doesn't mean the bad things aren't there. The bad things still are there, but like Toni said, and like Abby said, like you're running full speed towards who you are, and you don't care about that stuff as much anymore because you believe in who you are. And so Nikki's another one that her belief has just skyrocketed, and she joined Toastmasters. That's another thing. I know Michelle does that. Like that's another thing where I've seen people who are in Toastmasters, their belief in themselves. because I think it's important to have little successes. So when you speak in front of a group of people, just like these girls spoke tonight, or I know Stacy just got to speak at the Peachtree Boot Camp, which is amazing because Kurt Beaver's, you know, that's like a legacy boot camp. So to be asked to speak there is such a big deal. And I'm sure she faced like a lot of self-doubts, probably like thinking about having to speak there that she had to overcome. And we all go through that. We all tell ourselves something every day. So just be real careful. Just watch what you're telling yourself. And you can tell yourself things over and over, and your brain, this is what the 4-8 principle did for me. It talks to you about the brain, the actual functions of the brain. You start to retrain your brain to start to believe things. So it can be believing bad things or negative things or things that aren't true, or it can start believing things that are positive. And I've overcome a lot in the last year. I don't know if I had postpartum depression or what, but looking back, I overcame a lot of different negativity and depressing thoughts. And it's crazy how once you start telling yourself something, it really starts like snowballing, and you can get into a really deep, dark place. And so I want you guys to know, if you're there, because I've been there, I was recently just there, that you can get out of that place one thought at a time. Take each little thought captive, hold on to that and throw it away, and replace it with one good thought. And you'll see it will be slow. It doesn't happen overnight. And you will fall back and you'll go back to that dark place again. But each time you'll go back a little bit less further down, a little bit less further down. And before you know it, you're just going back a little bit, and you're going back for a shorter amount of time. And then you see people like Catherine Lee, who probably doesn't really go there very often because she's just constantly feeding herself, her mind and her surroundings with those types of people. So anyway, I know this went way longer than I expected. I am so sorry for you guys that stayed on. I'm so proud for everybody that stayed on and for all the comments. And I just want to say thank you to my team that talked tonight, and just thank you for everybody that is on, because I know I actually thought of so many people. Nikki, Michelle Fletcher, Stacy. I mean, there's so many people that I wanted to ask to speak, because, you know, I think there's so many people that can add to these 4 beliefs conversations. We can keep it going in Team Transformers. I'm going to take a picture of these book lists so that you guys can start reading, because I do think that's one of the most important things. And Sharon, do you want to say anything?
I think you guys did a phenomenal job. I know everybody thinks that. Wow. Oh my gosh. I want to say, I mean, I'll just point out a couple of my favorites. I mean, I like you all. I love you all. But my son's knocking on the door, so I got distracted. Okay. So first of all, and he's still knocking. Thank you, Jules, Brigid, Kirsten, Toni, and Abby. You guys added so much to our lives tonight. But I love the board that Toni did. It was so simple. We should all do that. Okay, I guess I should get it. I was thinking about Abby, what she said, you know, just her attitude. And Brene Brown talks a lot about resilience. So, oh gosh, hold on. This old house. Oh gosh, okay. Everybody, say hi to everybody. Hi. Oh, hi. He's like knocking furiously. Anyway, I think resilience, I love it, that even if things are happening, you have to be resilient in this business. And that's really the key. You just got to keep going. It will pay off. Oh my gosh. Right, Stacy? Will it pay off? Oh my gosh. We have the life. You want this life. I'm telling you right now, you want this life. Not the knocking on the door and all that. No, just kidding. But the tripping over things and the door doesn't open. But you want the flexibility. You have to just be resilient. You can't worry about what people think. So I love the blinders. You know, the horses, they wear the blinders. They're not worried about what everybody else is going to do. They're not worried about what's on Facebook. They're just like, okay, I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get this done. And you can see that with Abby every single day, just really focused, laser focused every day. And so not to just point out her. There's so many great people on our team, obviously. But just it reminded me when she said that. It's just so good. So I just think you guys are all awesome. I missed having team talk for, I don't know how long it was. Maybe it was just a week, but I missed seeing your faces. And I hope that you're all coming to conference. And then if you're not coming to conference, well, there's the boot camps and the summits and so many things. But then there's Tampa too. So we've got to just take it all in. It's all big rocks. See if you can put them on the schedule. It's so important. That's how you keep moving along. That's why Jules doesn't have to teach a fitness class anymore. She used to teach how many?
I don't know. It was like 30 something a week, plus personal training, plus running sunrise boot camps.
Right. I mean,
like looking back,
it works. Yeah. You guys got to work it. Work it. All right. Good night, guys. I'm going to turn off the recording. Say good night to everybody.